Hey, gun people! Well, this is a pretty interesting case. The name of it is Blurred Justice. It's on 11 Alive channel. Army veteran arrested and disarming gunman saving friends. Okay, so it may sound like I'm going to crack on this guy a little bit. I don't doubt this dude's meat-eating, patriot, not a pansy personality. I'm all good with all that. What I'm not real 100% with is he doesn't know how to legally survive with the cops. He doesn't understand kind of how to deal with government in a way that he doesn't end up screwing himself. He does a pretty good job. But let's take a look at this.
Cop 911, what's the location of your emergency?
Someone pulled a gun on me.
This guy asked for a cigarette. We told him he doesn't have a cigarette. He's drunk, and he pulled a gun out on us. So I disarmed him.
Okay. This guy says I disarmed him like, I don't know, probably 10, 15 times in this thing. And he did. But he's living in a world that men that do hero things or men that do things that 30 years ago would have been like, good job. Today are caustic, toxic males, too much testosterone, damn army vet, gun-loving, thinks he's freaking tougher than the cops. I mean, it's just the mentality we're living in. So just listen to the way this guy does it, and you're going to figure out why the cops, I'm not saying the cops are right. I think the cops are dead wrong. But you're going to figure out why they kind of get a little attitude with him.
Who has the gun? I have the gun. It's disarmed. It has hollow points in it.
Okay, people. Once you get on the 911 and you have them coming, minimum information, get off the damn phone. You're in a critical incident when you're calling 911. It's probably life-setting or emergency. You're going to say and do things that you think you're just asking for help, and what you're doing is providing evidence, and you're giving a dispatcher statements that they're going to manipulate, have to retype, maybe send it to another person who retypes it into dispatch in order to get dispatched. So less is more. I say the same thing in horse training. Less is more. Don't give more information than you need. Here's the address. There was a guy with a gun. I've got him disarmed. I need the police. Click. Somebody else is going to say, well, you should give your description and you should give his description and you... No, bullshit. Because cops and dispatchers screw all that up. I'm telling you, I've seen it too many times. Undercover car. I'll give my description of my car that I'm following him, and the dispatcher will have the cops chasing me by the time the cops get there. Because I told him I was going after a blue, two-door, and I told him my car is a white four-door, and by the time the cops get to where I'm at, they're trying to pull me over, and I have to get on the radio and go, dude, I'm the UC. The unit is in front of me that you need to pull over. Because dispatch has already screwed it up. So don't give descriptions of crap. Unless the guy ran away and you want to give his description, that's fine. But as soon as dispatch starts asking, what do you look like? Where's the gun? Where are you standing? What kind of pants are you? All she's going to put out is, guy with white pants and red perch says he has a gun he took from somebody. So now the cops are focused on the red shirt, white pants, when they get there has a gun. And it's going to get lost. So you can do what you want. Like always, don't substitute my judgment or my opinion or my advice for your own judgment, because you're there. But I'm telling you, when you give more information, it's going to bite you in the butt.
It's a Glock.
Who cares if it's a Glock?
Who has the gun? I have the gun. It's disarmed. It has hollow points in it.
It has hollow points in a Glock. Now, I get where this guy's going. I know what hollow points is. I know a Glock. I recognize these things. These are pretty easy to recognize. They're in my nomenclature. They're in my vocabulary. I can spit it out. I can give them more information. Dude, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I'm telling you. Well, Rick, how can that hurt? He's just because he's on the phone. And this comment's going to lead to another comment. And it's going to lead to another question. And then dispatch will start telling you what to do. And then you'll be confused. You'll ask what? And then she'll say, the guy's not complying. He's being uncooperative. Versus if you say, here's where I am. Here's what happened. And you hang up, you're done. All they can say is we got to call that there was a incident with a gun at this address. That's it. And then let them figure it out when they get there. At least they come in with a clean slate. The more you talk, the more dispatch is going to feed in this false narrative and get everything convoluted to where by the time the cops get there, they're going to think that you're the bad guy. You didn't take the gun from a guy. You pulled a gun on a guy, and you're the problem, which is exactly what they do, by the way.
Glock.
I want you to stand there, and I want you to put that...
I want you... See how this dispatcher's ordering him around now? Look, people, dispatchers don't go through police academies. They get absolutely zero police training. So they know where to dispatch, what questions to ask, on what crimes, what information to get so they can relay to officers. That's it. So when you get dispatchers and government start ordering people around, there's a lot of people that will start following their orders. And a dispatcher will get your ass killed, and she will have no liability, no accountability, and you know what it'll be later? Hey, you didn't have to listen to her. You're the one that freaking took her advice. If you ended up shot and dead, that's your fault. I'm telling you from experience, people. I know you think I'm just being anti-government and telling you, you know, because I hate the government, but I'm telling you, that's how it works out 90% of the time.
Gun on the ground, okay? Do not have it in your hand when they pull up.
Okay.
Okay, so he laid the gun on the ground. I think the gun's right here. He's got his hands up.
It's on the ground.
Okay, tell them the gun's here and point to the ground, but keep your hands to where they...
He's still taking orders from her. Now, there ain't nothing. Most dispatchers know as soon as an officer shows up on scene, stop giving orders, stop communicating, and tell the guy to communicate with the officer. This dispatcher's already screwing up because now she's like, tell the officer where it's at, point here. While you're pointing, the officer may be screaming, don't move. Meanwhile, you're listening to freaking dispatch in your ear, and you're pointing a gun. The cop said, he moved, he reached for the gun, he kills you. And you're going to be like, but it wasn't my fault. I was listening to dispatch. Well, that's because you're an idiot. And it was your fault because you didn't listen when I was trying to save your ass.
You can see them.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Where did that come from? It came from him bleeding from the head.
Okay, where did that come from? The cops asked, where'd the gun come from? Uh-oh. You already know it's going bad right here. The code of the bald shows up. And he lives up to his reputation. He studied well at how to be a jerk at the Bald College.
The guy bleeding from the head? Yes, sir.
Matt
Guy puts his gun away. If they would have charged him, the DA dropped these charges. If they would have charged him, this would have been good defense. How can you feel threatened by a guy who called 911, put his hands on here, and you put your gun away, thinking there was no threat? And now in a minute, they're going to throw him in handcuffs, throw him in the back of the car, just because they don't like his attitude.
Solon, the guy with his hands on the trunk, is the one who called police to the bar parking.
So, both cops turn their back to this guy. I don't even know if I'd stand there with my hands on the car. I'd lean on the car and cross my arms. I'm not standing like a criminal because then cops will be looking at you like a criminal. These guys don't have their hands on the car. Why is that? Why do these people not have their hands on the car and this guy does? Why? Because he's trying to be compliant. He's trying to he's thinking he's a good guy. He called the cops. He's the one that took the gun. He's the one that pointed to the gun. He's the one that complied and put his hands on the car. But Rick, why does he end up in handcuffs in the car? Because you're an idiot and you ain't listening. That's why.
Lot.
It's about 2 in the morning, and I'm with my girlfriend and a couple friends. And we're leaving. We're all standing by my car, about to say goodbye. He just comes up to us and he asks for a cigarette. And we're like, we don't smoke. We don't have a cigarette. I'm sorry.
This is a very common thing for criminals to size you up. They want to get close to you. And in order to get close to you without having you reach for your gun like I do. See, somebody walk up to me and ask for a cigarette, my hand's either on my knife or on my gun. Even in civilian clothes. In uniform, it's still that way. You walk up to me and start a conversation, my hand's going to my gun. I don't know who the hell you are. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're up to. But I'll be nice to you, but I'm going to have a plan to kill you. So you walk up to me, I'm ready. And I'm telling you, the number one ploy for 90% of criminals before they commit their criminal act, hey man, can I bum a cigarette? Hey man, do you have a dime I can borrow? Hey man, I'm out of gas. Can you just lend me $1? That's how they get close. That's how they get you to drop your guard right before you become a victim.
Turns around and then pulls out a gun, and his girlfriend's freaking out, like being like, no, 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 what are you doing? I knew I had to do something.
You could have been shot.
Right.
Your friends could have been shot.
Right.
Solon served in Afghanistan. One of his army buddies faced the gunman with him that night, Michael Loudermilk, son of Georgia Congressman Barry Louder.
This probably helped him that the son of a congressman was involved in this. The son of the congressman didn't get put in handcuffs. Well, Rick, why do they pick on the other guy? Because he was being a little too helpful. He kept trying to say, give them information. He kept trying to cooperate so much that he irritated the freaking pesky freaking cops, and they don't want to deal with pesky citizens.
Milk. The two military veterans and their dates told Kennesaw police they were confronted by a drunk man waving a gun.
And then I see him point the gun at us. So immediately, muscle memory, I go and I hit him in the face, elbow him.
I love this guy. Muscle memory. I elbow him, hit him in the face. You go, brother. That's my man. He's on my team. When we're picking teams for the R2, he's on my team. That's right, brother.
Take the gun away, and then just beat him over the head with it till he was down. And when I hit him over the head, the clip fell out, so I went and walked over.
Oh my God, he said clip, and I'm gonna have all the word. As soon as he said clip, I go, no big deal. I call it a clip. But then I was thinking, oh my God, there's so many freaking little word Nazis out there that are, oh my God, it's not a clip, it's a magazine. How can he say it? And they're gonna make this guy lose all credit. All the people that are saying that probably never been in combat, never been in the military. They just, want to pick a topic on Clip and Magazine and make it the end of the world.
Grabbed the clip, unloaded the weapon, and it was loaded fully with hollow points.
You essentially saved the congressman's son's life.
Yeah, everybody who was with me.
He just went after him and got the gun out of his hand. Defended himself, defended us.
Oh, that was a great statement. I like her too. Very good. He defended himself and he defended us. Hey. That sounds an awful lot like deadly force.
Saw officers quickly locate this surveillance video of the bar parking lot, which appears to show the accused gunman, Dwight Cooper, and his girlfriend stumbling over to the two couples.
What are we seeing in this blurry video?
He comes up, asks us for a cigarette, gets mad, walks back, and that's when his girlfriend's flailing. And then he lifts up his shirt, pulls out a Glock, points it at us, and his girlfriend...
This dude kind of went after him from a pretty good distance. I mean, that's a long way to go after a guy with a gun. Luckily, he was drunk and he probably didn't know how to use it. There was no safety, so all he had to do was get it out and pull the trigger because it was a Glock. So even though the crook's a dummy, he picked a good gun. Rick, you're just a little Glock. Shut up, you big crybabies. So he attacked him from a long distance. I don't know if I would run. If I was that far from a dude with a pistol, I'm not sure I would charge him. I mean... It's ballsy, but there's a fine line between balls and brains. So I'm not sure I would do that. But I'm not cracking on the dude. I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he won. Remember, the outcome of an incident always dictate how people will view it. Because he didn't get shot, he's a hero. Had he got shot, people would be saying, he's an idiot. What did you run at him for that far away? You knew he was going to get shot. I would have never done that. So, it is what it is.
Friend's still freaking out. So that's when I run up at him, disarm him, hit him over the head with his gun, walk away, and pick up the clip.
So then why was...
This dude is not ashamed or bashful about saying, I beat the hell out of him. I beat him in the head with a clip. I took his gun. I punched him in the throat. This dude kind of cracks me up. He's still on my team. Don't get me mistaken. He's on my team.
Matt Solon, the only...
This little weasel is on the opposite enemy team. I guarantee you.
Only one who ended up in handcuffs that night.
I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. Okay, do you think people ever lie to the police? Is it possible?
I could have got shot today.
Yep, me too. That's my job.
I was in the military for 6 years. I think I know that.
Congratulations, sir.
I was in Afghanistan. I know exactly.
When a guy said I was in Afghanistan and I know when I served, congratulations. What a freaking prick. This dude is a Class A, capital P punk. And I mean, I want to slap his little bald head, but...
Exactly what man did.
And he pulled a gun out on us. I disarmed him.
Did he get shot?
No, he didn't get shot. I kicked him in the face.
Now he's kicking him in the face. So So now he's elbowed, punched him, hit him with the gun, and now he's kicked him with a fade. You see how easy little comments can start adding up?
Where did that come from? It came from him bleeding from the head. The guy bleeding from the head? Yes, sir.
Putting gun away. This guy puts his gun away.
I'm not armed.
Mr. Congratulations, I get paid to get shot at. I could have got shot today. Mr. Big Shot with a gun in a holster. But he's so scared of this guy, he handcuffs him aggressively and throws him in a car.
You want to test me or frisk me or whatever?
You're fine. Just don't move, and there's not an issue with that.
See the guy's like, you want to frisk me? You want to... I mean, he's being so freaking cooperative that Baldy is getting the little hair follicles standing up on edge on his head. Like, why is this guy being so cooperative? I mean, again, the cop's wrong. This guy isn't wrong, but I'm telling you, learn to keep your mouth shut and don't talk to the government.
Don't go reaching in your pocket, man. You just put away and get thrown on the ground. Don't be stupid.
I understand completely. You're not exactly being cooperative either.
Now he's getting the handcuffs out because he told the cop he wasn't being cooperative. This cop is just itching to use his handcuffs. He's probably got little pink handcuffs and a little pink fur-lined handcuff case that he carries. So he's just itching to get him out and handcuff somebody, and he does. Wow, what a man. Dude, you're really tough. Man, and you got a bald head, and you're really tough for a guy with a bald head. That's amazing.
I'm putting him in my car.
Matt Solon, the man who disarmed the accused gunman, is the only one handcuffed.
So we figure this out. You're being detained.
Sure. Did I do something wrong?
I don't know what's going on. We're trying to detain you to figure out what's going on.
So see, when a guy said I do something wrong, the cop did not have an answer. I don't know what's going on. Well, why the hell did you handcuff me? You didn't handcuff me when you showed up. You put your gun away. You stood behind me, wanted to argue and insult me and kind of dismiss that I'm the guy that disarmed him. You didn't want to hear my thing. You wanted to keep me at a disadvantage. You didn't want to search me. And then when I reached for my pocket after I told you to go ahead and search me, you freaked out like a little pink panty bald head, and then you grabbed me and handcuffed me.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong or no?
And that's his gun? This was laying over there on the floor. I'm not sure.
Officers spend much of the next hour trying to figure out what happened with the accused gunman bleeding on the ground.
One guy apparently got whacked upside the head, possibly with this.
He supposedly took a gun out and hit him in the head.
No, it was that dude's gun.
Right. He took the gun off. He says he took the gun off him, hit him in the head.
Radio told us that the guy that got...
Listen to all this, I still don't have a good picture. I mean, if I was there, it'd be, look, guys. The guy on the ground pulled a gun and attacked us. And when he pulled the gun, the guy you got handcuffed in the car defended himself, was able to get the gun away and risk his life, knocked him to the ground and took the gun away and saved us all. Do you freaking idiots with 2 brain cells get it? Because I'm trying to explain it like you're a freaking 3-year-old and you still can't seem to get it. That'd be my statement. And then I'd be in cuffs next to him in the back of the car.
Kicked was the one who had the gun, pulled it, got kicked, the guy took the gun and left.
While the combat veteran who saved lives sits in the back of a patrol car.
Well, you give us just a minute, we'll get your story in a minute, okay?
Okay. I was making sure I'm getting my story. I mean, you guys wouldn't even be out here if I didn't call you.
Look at it this way, man.
That's a great point, dude. You called him and you're in the back of a patrol car. You would have been better off keeping a freaking free Glock and leaving.
I'm done talking.
Anytime we show up on a call, we have to do what we can for safety reasons until we can...
Okay, this is what's called... They teach cops what's called selling a ticket. When you give somebody a ticket, you always give them some bullshit excuse about how you're saving lives and how your children and wives are on the road and, you know, I could have just prevented you from running over a child and it would have ruined your life and I'm doing you a favor. Sign here, pay $200 a court and freaking pay your insurance. Because you're an idiot if you believe that I'm saving you. But cops are taught how to, quote, sell a ticket. That way you don't get a complaint, and the odds are the person will not challenge it in court, and then they'll just pay the fine because you were so nice. They'll leave with a positive experience. I don't give a shit what you say to me. If you write me a ticket, it ain't positive, and I ain't freaking talking nice about you. Period. But I digress. Let's get back.
Safely ask everybody questions. We got one guy with a gun, one guy bleeding. So
this guy is what he's selling his detention. He wants to let him loose. He found out that he probably shouldn't be in there, and now he's trying to play like the good guy. Hey, man, we got to investigate. You know, we got to get everybody's side. This isn't personal. Even though he was a dick earlier, yanked him, didn't search him, then freaked out when he reached. Even though all that happened, now he's trying to leave on a positive note. He's using his verbal judo to disarm the pesky tax-paying citizen.
We detain and we wait till everything calms down, then we start asking questions and kind of figure out what happens in the scenario, just so you know why you're sitting back here.
No, I have no idea why I'm sitting back here. It doesn't explain anything.
Good luck with that guy.
What did he say to you? That's why he's back there. I don't know who he is.
He says,
gee, I can't imagine why he has an attitude. Some guy pulled a gun on him. He calls 911. You guys handcuff him and throw him in the back of the car. Treat him like shit. Like he did something wrong. I can't imagine why he has a freaking attitude. Who the hell could predict that? Here comes Ray Charles out of the bushes. Got his hand up. I could predict it.
I saved their lives. I don't know why I'm back here. Y'all aren't doing your damn job.
And all I know is he's the last one to touch the gun.
Oh, that's funny. He's the last one to touch a gun. So we got his prints on a gun. We'll just seize the gun as evidence. We'll say he was the last one with a gun. We'll charge him and let the DA figure it out. He can beat the charge, but he ain't going to beat the ride. Ooh, we're tough. We'll book him and go have another freaking donut with sprinkles.
Step on now.
Yes, sir. I had it under control, I feel like.
You had what under control?
The whole situation. I had him on the ground. I'm taking care of his the ambulance. I had it disarmed.
So, again, Matt is kind of a little proud of what he did, and he's talking too much. I had it under control. Well, that takes away the element of fear. If you weren't fearful, why did you hit him? If you had it uncontrolled, why'd you beat him with the gun? The whole situation, I had him on the ground. Well, why did you hit him in the head if you had him on the ground? If you overpowered him so quickly, why'd you hit him with the gun? See how your statement can easily get turned around?
What else did you guys do?
All I'm told is that you're the last one to have the gun. You started touching your pockets and everything. I asked you not to, and you're like, hey, I'm the hero, or whatever you were saying.
See that little dismissive sleight of hand? The bald officer had to get in another jab. Oh, I'm the hero. The guy never said he's a hero. He is kind of talking like he's not ashamed of what he did. And I got no problem with that. The guy's confident. He took action. I got no problem with him owning what he did. This freaking bald-headed cop who's probably scared of his own freaking shadow when he takes a shower, but he has a problem with it.
Okay, sorry, sir. I see your perspective.
I was charged for a felony of possession of a firearm during commission of a crime.
Can you believe that? They charged him with assault with a gun. He took a gun from a criminal, and they charged him for taking the gun away, defending himself, and hitting a guy. But wait, it gets a whole lot better. This guy wasn't even supposed to have the gun. His attorney gave it to him after his last crime where he used a gun. The attorney bought the guns for $1 from him, and the attorney's supposed to have it, and they gave it back to him. Yeah, because we need more gun control. We need more lawyer control.
For his gun. And then
Wait. You were charged with a crime of possessing the gunman's gun, the one you took away from him?
Exactly. It's an $8,000 bond.
Is there an irony that the only one to call the police is the only one who went to jail that night?
There is an irony, and I appreciate...
Look, this bug-eyed weasel, he's lying just because his lips are moving. I mean, he can't even admit that the officer was wrong. He was arrogant. He didn't handle it correctly, and the guy should have never been arrested. This could just as easily been handled like, you know what? We're not sure who the good guy or bad guy is. Let's just write it up, take statements. We'll grab some video footage. We'll refer it to the DA and let them decide if they want to charge. There's nothing that says cops have to arrest on a scene. Cops arrest because they want to or because they can justify they had no choice, or officer safety, or the guy's conditions. There's nothing that says when I pull up on a scene that I have to arrest anybody. I can look at everybody and go, okay, you did that. Well, I'm not really sure what happened, so I'm just going to take statements and refer it to the DA. If they want to arrest you, then they can issue an arrest warrant. As a matter of fact, I think unless it was violence and they can show that you're a danger to the public, nobody should be arrested. It should all be referred to the DA's office. It should all be in writing, and you can figure it out later. Why are we wasting time with medical clearances, booking people, paying them, giving them medical, putting them in jail, putting them in why are we doing all that when probably, I'm going to say 30% of all charges are dismissed, reduced, or just thrown out. I mean, it's just crazy.
Appreciate him for what he did that night, and I appreciate him for calling us. But it doesn't take away from that part 2 of the incident, and that's where he was charged.
We showed Kennesaw's police chief the surveillance video Matt Solon gave us.
And then it stops there. That's not the whole video.
No.
Hello, Matt. I just was wondering.
You know, to save 3 people's lives, disarm the guy, keep him there because they wanted to run, you know, and I get thrown in the back of the cop car.
Well, let that be a clue to all you people. How many times have I told people, don't get involved. It never turns out good. Don't call government. When government gets involved, you can't get them uninvolved, and you end up being a victim of government, and you're victimized twice. Once when you were a victim, and once when you called government.
Matt Solon got arrested after disarming an accused gunman in a bar. What happened?
Someone pulled a gun on me. Did he get shot?
Involving a gun.
We have a subject that's
Police end up arresting
active 29 or fight.
Police.
She dispatched an active fight. That's not what he said. He said the guy's on the ground, I've got the gun. There wasn't a fight. She dispatched an active fight. That's why I said get off the damn phone and quit talking to 911, people.
End up arresting the hero and sending the accused gunman to the hospital.
Did they ever handcuff the gunman?
No.
If the other subject in this case would have not needed medical treatment, he would have gone to jail that night too.
Oh, well, there's a clue. The guy that took the gun should have said, I hurt my neck and I need medical treatment. Then he wouldn't have been arrested. Gee, take notes, people. This is government logic 101 for idiots.
In your view, is Matt Solon a hero?
During his initial response, that yes.
Oh, of course he is. He's not as a hero as me.
Solon a hero?
During his...
Because I got a little medal and pins and shiny badges and shiny stars. I'm the real hero. I'm the government. I'm here to help. Whatever.
His initial response, that yes, I agree with that comment. I think when the second act was taken, that's where the lines crossed.
What second act? The blurman hitting him to keep him down and then unloading the gun.
And then it stops there. That's not the whole video.
No.
I just was wondering.
Video. There's the initial incident. And then, 29 seconds later, this additional contact between Solon and the accused gunman.
So the guy tried to get up and leave, and he came over and either pushed him down or put his foot on him to hold him down. So that's what they thought was a felony contact. Really? Should have let the guy run off. But Rick, he pulled a gun at. He should have let him run off. Let him freaking do their job.
There was an incident where he protected himself and the people he was with, and I commend him for that. Then part 2 is where he took action beyond that, and that's where he did cross the line.
Did that appear to be punitive rather than defensive?
Yes, that's what I saw.
And then after I pick up the clip, I see Cooper's girlfriend trying to pull him out. So I reach over there and put my foot on. I guess whenever the police looked over the video, they thought me putting the foot on him was me hitting him again and him being restrained. I still don't know what I did.
I can't really talk about the case, but basically once the threat is done.
It wasn't done though.
I can't really talk about the case. Really? Where's that a rule? What? Who says cops can't talk about a case? You got the subject that you're arresting. Your whole job is to get a statement from him and get him to talk about the case. And this freaking bald-headed fool is, I can't really talk about the case. Well, that's because you're an idiot. What that means is I don't want to have to take a statement. I don't want to have to get into if and buts and coconuts. I don't want to have to possibly find out that I can't arrest you. You know what? I'll just arrest you and let someone else do all the work. That's what that really means.
That's what court's for.
I asked over and over and over again, what am I being arrested for? And Officer O'Brien said he has rights too.
The gunman has rights.
The gunman has rights too. He was restrained.
This is stuff that you got to talk about with your lawyer. I can't.
I stopped the threat. We would have all been shot.
The Cobb County District Attorney refused to prosecute Solon, dismissing the charges because the combat veteran, quote, acted in self-defense.
No shit. Ray Charles could have seen that. But these freaking cops couldn't see it. They just arrested him. This is why cops need to be held accountable for making arrests where people aren't charged. It has become just a cop punitive action. If I don't like you, I'll just arrest you. And I'll cost you bail money. I'll get you fingerprinted. I'll make you sit in my car. I can cuff you. I can search you. And I can throw you in the back of my car and humiliate you just because I don't like you, I'm not going to be held accountable, and there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely outrageous.
Defense and in the defense of others.
How long were you in jail?
About 35 hours.
The guy who pulls the gun isn't the one who goes to jail that night. You go to jail.
Exactly.
He isn't arrested till the next month.
No, and he's giving his gun back.
How did I get it? What did I do?
I don't know. I'm trying to find that out.
Oh my god, bro.
Hey, what's your name?
Cooper. Dwight Cooper.
All right, Dwight?
Yeah, how did I get this?
I don't know.
Dwight Cooper was drunk and disoriented when he woke up to find Cobb County police searching his car.
What happened, bro?
That's what I'm asking you.
The police report says
this is the guy that pulled the gun on the vet, and the guy took the gun from him. Okay, so you know what's happening.
Officers found him passed out with his foot on the brake and the car in drive.
Marijuana?
Huh?
You want to tell us about the marijuana?
Marijuana.
Weed?
An open bottle of vodka, digital scales, and enough marijuana to charge him with felony possession with intent to distribute.
Weed. Yeah.
What a mess. What a mess.
I have one clip.
His bond conditions included not drinking alcohol, but the box that would have prevented Cooper from legally possessing a firearm was left unchecked. 2 months later, he would show up in a bar parking lot, according to police, with a loaded .40 caliber Glock, while out on bail for felony gun and drug charge.
Okay, there's your government at work, 100%. This is why when people go, we need more laws, and if government only had guns, they'll keep you safe, give up your guns. Time and time again, we see the failure of government and their freaking dumb laws.
He was in this weird nether. Cobb County put this guy back.
Matt Solon says he disarmed Cooper
I disarmed him.
for what police gun he had taken away. Those charges against the hero still awaiting trial. Then why did police turn over the key piece of evidence, the gun, to the defendant's attorney?
So they gave the gun to the defendant's attorney instead of keeping his evidence on the charge with sales and possession of a gun and sales. This is government, people.
Charge and convicted felons can't own guns. So Cooper sold his guns to his own lawyer for $1.
Okay, the lawyer bought his guns for $1. How many people think a Glock is probably worth more than $1? Well, then you'd be right. If you think it's only worth $1, then you're an idiot. So the attorney's buying guns from $1 from his convicted felons, and then he's giving it back to him.
$1. A judge signed an order turning Cooper's pistols over to his defense attorney, including the Glock from the open criminal case.
I want you to stand there and I want you to put that gun on the ground, okay?
Now it's the vindicated hero who has to worry.
For a gun-related charge.
Okay. Went a little long, a lot of information. If you want to go watch a video without me, that's the title. Google it, and hopefully you got something out of this. We'll end that there.